7:30 on a Tuesday morning, the second day of April, and Molly, by golly, from Texas in here. She drove all the way in. I've been driving all night from Dallas, Fort Worth. Molly McGee with us. How you doing?
You don't believe that, do you? Good morning.
Thank
Good
you for
morning
doing
to
this.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest with you, and Terry too, I've never heard your music, didn't want to hear your music until you sat down out here. But how long have you been in the music scene?
Well, I've been singing since I've been talking, is what my mama says.
Okay.
Just grew up singing in church, grew up singing on stage. I never got to be the big parts because my voice has always sounded older than my body.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
so I always had to be the villain.
How about voice lessons?
No.
You know, I asked you just off the air because I know Texas is big. Texas is known for a lot of honky tonks. Texas is known for a lot of venues all over Texas that individuals and bands play at, and they grow. It's growing every year. Is that something? You know, to kind of talk briefly. Is that something you'd like to go back
To
and get
grow?
in that?
Well, she
I
likes
wanna go-
Alabama. We
Yes.
don't keep her here.
I want to go where God wants me to go,
Wow, good answer.
but I've really fallen in love with the landscape of Alabama and the slower living. It was hard leaving Texas, mostly because of the food, but
The Mexican food, the steaks, the
Mexican
barbecue,
food.
or-
Y'all don't believe in white gravy here? Where
White
I'm from,
gravy,
we
yeah.
put white gravy on chicken strips
Yeah.
and everything, and Dairy Queen here doesn't have tacos, so
Wow. but I think about white gravy. I like white gravy. I never.
it's
never
just more
think
of a
about it.
staple where we're from.
Yeah. Wow.
But no, I love how beautiful it is in Alabama, and I don't see myself going back to the hustle and bustle of Dallas, Fort Worth. But I mean, if that's where God calls me, I'll go.
Molly, I think Terry and I both, we probably take this for granted, this beautiful scenery we get to see every day.
You really do. You really do,
Yeah.
because I like when I'm here with Alabamians, I'll be like, "Look at those flowers.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at this."
Yeah.
And they're just like, "What is wrong with her?" But it's not like that where I'm from. It's flat and a little bit dusty and hot.
It's kind of a wake-up call for us. We should stop and smell the roses more. We should look at that beauty of that big old pine tree or that oak tree, or but so out west. But see, I like Texas too. I like that flat, but I like different sceneries.
Well,
also.
if I would say if I miss something about Texas that y'all don't get to see here, because you've got the trees. The trees, some people say, it makes them a bit claustrophobic. Thunderstorms in Texas
Oh, yeah.
are
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
They're so gorgeous because you can
I'm
just
with you on that.
see for miles and miles and miles.
What you work at Hobby Lobby, correct?
I do.
Okay.
That's my day job.
Okay. What have you? I mean, what have you been doing in
In
the last?
Silicaga?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They're on 280.
You don't serve me. That's okay.
What the last several years? What have you been doing as far as work? What?
Well, I really haven't been. I don't do anything much that is glorious or anything. But
That's what
I've
I'm
always
after.
stayed in retail and
Okay,
customer
okay.
service. I love people, so I don't know how to not get a job around people. And this music thing happened about a year and a half ago. I had
Really?
to. Yes, I got a divorce and had to get a second job. I had never sang publicly besides being, in school and background vocals for church. I've always done the harmony and things like that. But I had to get a second job, and my husband at the time bought me a guitar for fun because I love to sing, and
Is
he
that
was
it?
like, "If you not this one,
Oh, okay,
this
okay.
is my baby." But
Beautiful guitar.
thank you. He said, if you never do anything with it, I'm not buying this for you to do anything with it. I just want you to play with it. Well, I started learning it, and I fell in love with it. I am not a guitar player. Y'all are going to find that out today.
I love your honesty.
Yes, well, I try not to be a liar. But I'm not saying I've never lied. I've called in sick before on a day I just wanted to sleep in. But yes, like I fell in love with it, and music didn't become just a form of worship anymore. It became a form of therapy for me. And when I had to get a second job, I didn't know what to do. And somebody was like, "If you can play 3 hours, you can sing here." And so I gathered up 3 hours of music.
Wow,
And
it's a long time to play.
yes, it is. It's a long time to play. And then I just slowly, other venues started calling me, and now that's the goal. The goal is I don't want to be so big and famous that, I can't go to the bathroom without someone following me. But the goal is, to
Good
be able
for
to make a
you.
living with my music.
Good for you.
You have the looks. Now, I don't mean to be that. I mean that in a kind way. But I think you have to have. You're tall. I mean, you're different looking in a beautiful way.
Thank you.
You got the right personality,
yeah.
too.
And you gotta have
And
that
work
3 hours. You gotta work the crowd too. It's not just singing that whole time. You gotta work the crowd too.
Yes, a lot of times people will say, because I talk a lot, I'm a little nervous now, but
Like,
You're fine.
when I'm singing, a lot of my stuff is really pretty. But when I'm not singing, my mouth is not so pretty. I've been working on honing it together. I grew up with mostly boys, and
Oh,
my
really?
mama, who
Okay.
was, no offense, mama, but who was a tomboy too. And so I'm working on honing it in because I never want to, be offensive, especially as I've just rededicated my life to God over the last few weeks.
Wow.
But people will stop and they'll be like, I just love your comedy act with your music. And I'm like, it's not comedy. I'm just telling real stories.
And
That's okay.
They relate to it.
Yeah.
Yes. I try to be relatable because, like I said, music is my therapy, but it's a way of connection when I don't feel like sometimes, I think a lot of artists are like that. They want to connect with people. They want to be seen. We all do it for different reasons. And you want to connect with people. And sometimes you can't say it in words, but if you sing it, then it makes it okay.
But if
And-
your audience connects with your stories, keep telling them.
Yeah.
You remind me of an old boy from Yazoo City, Mississippi, that told funny stories just to sell fertilizer. And then he went on to become, him as Jerry Clower.
I don't know him.
I knew.
But I can pretend.
I knew that was. You're 100 years older than her. I mean,
Well,
come
you
on.
need to look at Jerry Clower. He was a fertilizer salesman.
Can I get personal with you?
Yes.
Your rededication to the man upstairs. What brought that on?
Well, I had a pretty rough life growing up as a child, but grew up Christian. I would say Christian.
Yeah.
But because of things that happened to me as a kid, I would cry at the altar and want to be saved, but the shame that I had from what was going on as a child, I felt like I was still going to hell. And then I got married young, to kind of escape my life, and still carried that you're gonna go to hell. You're gonna, I didn't know the love of a father because I didn't have a father growing up. And my mom, she wasn't in her walk with Christ at the time. And so I didn't really have a mom growing up. And so I didn't know what fatherly or motherly love was. And as I went through life, I had, control issues because nobody's going to take care of you if you don't take care of you. And just very stressed, anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts.
Wow.
More like, I wouldn't even say just thoughts, but just really got down bad.
Bless your heart.
Well, when I got my divorce, my recent second divorce, I don't mind, I'll just be honest.
No,
on it.
I love your honesty.
And my husband at the time, good man. He is a good man. But he knew that he couldn't fix whatever was wrong in here. And I would just cry and have these fits and just rage and hurt. Well, when he left me, I didn't have a choice but to trust in myself and to trust in God, because I didn't have a fallback plan. I didn't have, and I think that that's where God needed me, because I was always trying to run to find safety, in other people or in my own capabilities, which weren't much. I've worked retail my whole life. You're not getting very
good.
far there.
You got to enjoy what you do, though.
I just love people.
People,
I love when
that's-
someone walks in the door and they're having a bad day, and then they say, "Thank you for being so
Yeah,
kind to me," which surprisingly is what you're supposed to be, but not anymore, I guess. But
Good for you, though.
little bits by little bits, God was showing up for me by myself, saying, I'm your husband. I'm your father. I'm this for you. And because those gigs started coming, I wasn't getting those. I couldn't do this in my own capability. Doing this right now is not, something that comes easy for me. But
Well, you're doing a great job.
thank you. In that God experience, finally the last step I had to say was, God, I'm not going to chase a man. Whoever you have for me is who you have for me. And until then, I just want your will in my life, your will in my life. And the day I prayed that, which was March 11th of this year, things started happening, which you don't have time to hear all these things, but
No.
miracles, signs, and wonders that I have never experienced in my life.
He's got the plan.
Yes, it all happened in a matter of 3 weeks and is still, because this Monday, yesterday was 3 weeks, and is still happening, so many things. And it created forgiveness in my heart and love for the people that hurt me, to where not only, and now I know what that father-daughter God love feels like. I know what that feels like as the husband-wife situation.
You need to take up songwriting.
Well, I'm gonna write. I got you one today.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that with us. You did a great job sharing that. We appreciate that. Molly McGee, doggone, I'm crazy about her. We'll be right back to hear some music. We're back here enjoying us. It's time for some music right now by Molly McGee. Is this one you wrote?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's called Perfect Day.
Perfect day. I look forward to hearing it.
You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Sunflower daisy, a breezy day and I feel lazy. One of those days when God gives you a break. This is what I hope for in a perfect day. My son with a smile on his face brings tears and restores my faith. It's the simple things that stay. Thank God for this perfect day. It's one of those times when you stop and look around. And you see that it's not all gray. Just close your eyes and shut out all the sound. And when you open them again, embrace this perfect day. Sunflower daisy, this world may be crazy, but when you smile, it all fades away. Thank God for this perfect day. Thank God for this perfect day.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just smiling like a
touch your
dead man, big old
emotions.
cat over here. Beautiful song.
Thank
I love
you.
your voice.
Thank
and
you.
I think I'm speaking for Terry too.
Yes.
I'm being very, very honest with you.
Thank you very much.
What's next on your agenda?
This is one that I play at every gig. So I figured if I'm going to play it at every gig, I got to play it here. And it is Folsom Prison.
Oh, Johnny Cash.
If you invite me back, you'll hear my ode to Johnny Cash. It's more written in his style, but it's my song. It's called Dark Side.
Okay.
But that's for later.
All right, you come back.
You want to hear it?
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't mean to tap the mic. Okay. I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling round the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. No, I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps dragging on, but that train keeps rolling on down to San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't you ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry.
Sing it, girl, sing it.
Oh, I bet there's rich folks eating from a fancy dining car, private drinking coffee, oh, and smoking big cigars. But I know I had it coming. I know I can't be free. But those people keep on moving. That's what tortures me. If they free me from this prison, if that railroad train was mine, better move it on a little further down the line. Far from Folsom Prison, that's where I wanna stay. And I let that lonesome whistle blow all my blues away. And I let that lonesome whistle blow all my blues away.
Good gracious.
I love it. We'll be right back. We about to
Fantastic.
wrap it up, Dave. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. You're gonna be at the local when?
6 to 8 on Thursday.
On Thursday. Okay, that's the local downtown Alexander City.
On
So
Main.
if they want to book you, just go to.
So if you want to find me, if you want to be booked with me, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I have an email, mcgmolly@gmail.com. You just private message me there. I stopped putting my number out there because men send
I
weird
know.
things.
Yeah.
But you can private message me to book me. You can also follow me on those places, and I post where I'll be singing next.
We
Do private
will-
parties as well.
We're gonna be keeping up with you, and if we can work it out in your schedule to come back out here, I'll send you some dates in April. But thank you.
Thank you.
This
Pleasure
was
to
such
meet
a
you.
pleasant surprise. Whistling. Now you got my attention. Oh.
Why don't you whistle us off the air?